Welcome to the true story of Alibaba. Not just a company, but a revolution that started from nothing and changed the future of business forever. This is the story of a man who had no money, no support, no connections, and still built one of the most powerful companies in the world. This is the story of Jack Ma, a man who searched for one simple thing on the internet and ended up creating a billion-dollar empire. This is not just a story of success. It's a story of belief, rejection, and rising from zero. And as you listen, you won't just learn about Alibaba. You'll improve your English, your vocabulary, and your confidence in every sentence. So before we begin, make sure to subscribe, because this is the most powerful way to learn English through real stories. Chapter 1. The Man Who Couldn't Find a Single Beer. Jack Ma was born in 1964 in a small city called Hangzhou, China. At that time, China was still a closed country. There was no internet, no freedom to trade with the world, and almost no foreigners. His family was poor. His parents were traditional musicians. They had no money, no special jobs, no rich relatives. Jack Ma was small, skinny, weak, and very bad at math. He failed in school many times. In fact, he failed his entrance exam for middle school twice. He failed the college exam 2 times. He failed job interviews again and again. When KFC came to China, 24 people applied. 23 got the job. The only person rejected? Jack Ma. Even police rejected him for being too weak. He tried everything, and he failed everything. But he had one thing that no one could stop: a dream and a mouth that never gave up. In 1995, Jack Ma went to the US for the first time. A friend showed him something that changed his life forever. It was called the internet. Jack typed one word into a search engine: beer, and results came from all over the world. German beer, American beer, Japanese beer, but no Chinese beer. He typed China. No results. There was nothing about his country on the internet. And in that moment, something clicked in his mind. If no one is showing China to the world, then I will. That small idea, that innocent search, would become the start of Alibaba. Jack Ma went back to China. He and his wife, along with a friend, started their first internet company called China Pages, a simple online directory. It failed, but Jack didn't stop. In 1999, in his small apartment, he called 17 friends and gave them a simple idea. Let's build an online platform where Chinese businesses can sell their products to the world. Everyone laughed. Nobody believed in e-commerce. Nobody believed in Jack Ma. Even banks refused to give him money. But those 17 friends said yes. They gave him $60,000 from their own pockets. No office, no resources, just belief. And the name of the company? Alibaba. People always ask, why Alibaba? Jack Ma said, because everyone knows the story of Alibaba and the 40 thieves. He is a kind, smart man who opens the treasure cave with the magic words, "Open Sesame." Alibaba was easy to spell, easy to remember, and it had global meaning. Jack Ma wanted his company to open the treasure for small businesses around the world. That was the mission. Here's the truth. Jack Ma didn't know how to code. He wasn't a software engineer. He didn't even know how to build websites. But he had something more powerful. He knew how to sell an idea. He knew how to build a team. He knew how to speak with fire in his heart. He said, "I'm not a tech guy. I'm looking at technology with the eyes of my customers." Alibaba wasn't just a business. It was a mission. to make it easy to do business anywhere. Jack Ma believed that small businesses were the true heroes of the economy, but they had no power. He wanted to give them a platform, not just to buy and sell, but to be seen, to be heard, to grow. In a world where America had Amazon and eBay, Jack Ma believed China could also create something world-class. People laughed. They said, "You're too late. The internet already has leaders." But Jack Ma smiled and said, "E-commerce is not a war between companies. It's a war of ideas. And my idea is for the people." So the first steps of Alibaba were slow. The office was small. The team worked long hours. They had no money, but they had a clear mission. They started building a business-to-business, B2B platform, where small Chinese factories could connect with buyers worldwide. They didn't take any commission. They made it free. They just wanted users. And slowly, the magic began. Chapter 2. War with eBay. The fight for China's future. After Alibaba started, the idea was growing. Thousands of small Chinese businesses were joining the platform. But Jack Ma knew something. Ideas are not enough. They needed money, real investment, to keep the dream alive. And guess what? Nobody wanted to give money to Alibaba. Why? The business had no profits. Jack Ma didn't look like a CEO. The website was just full of small factories and local sellers. But Jack didn't stop. He flew around the world and kept saying, "I want to build a company that serves small businesses. That helps them win." In 1999, Goldman Sachs gave Alibaba $5 million. And not long after that, SoftBank, a Japanese company led by Masayoshi Son, gave $20 million. Now Alibaba had oxygen. Now Jack Ma had hope. But remember, money is not safety. The storm was just about to begin. While Alibaba was building in China, a global giant was watching: eBay. eBay was already a superpower in the West. It had millions of users, billions in sales, and a huge team. In 2002, eBay entered China. They bought the biggest Chinese auction platform at the time, EachNet, and started growing fast. eBay was rich. eBay had technology. eBay had brand power. People said, "Alibaba is dead. eBay will eat them alive." Jack Ma heard this. And do you know what he said? "We're going to fight. This is our home." Jack Ma knew he couldn't fight eBay by copying them. So he decided to do the opposite. eBay was focused on auctions. Jack Ma focused on trust. eBay was a global platform. Jack said, "I will build a Chinese platform for Chinese people." He launched a new website called Taobao, meaning searching for treasure. And the war officially began. eBay charged users listing fees and transaction fees. Taobao, 100% free. eBay had English-like design. Taobao, full Chinese language, bright colors, emojis, like a local market. eBay focused on profits. Jack focused on trust and community. And he did something no one expected. He added a messaging system inside Taobao so buyers and sellers could chat before buying. This simple idea built trust. It was no longer just click and pay. It became talk, ask, connect. It felt like real shopping. And slowly, Chinese people fell in love with Taobao. eBay thought they would dominate. But they never understood the Chinese user. They believed that since they were big, everyone would follow. But they didn't adapt. They didn't listen. Taobao, on the other hand, kept evolving. Jack Ma focused on small sellers. He gave them tools, training, support. He said, "Alibaba is not here to beat eBay. We are here to make small businesses win." And slowly, the tide began to turn. One of the biggest problems in China was trust. People were afraid. If I send money online, what if I don't get the product? So Jack Ma invented something powerful, a new system called Alipay, a payment service that held the money in the middle. Here's how it worked. 1. Buyer pays Alipay. 2. Seller ships the product. 3. Only when the buyer confirms delivery, Alipay sends the money to the seller. This was revolutionary in China. It removed fear. It created confidence. But guess what? It was also illegal at the time. There were no laws supporting this kind of financial system. And when people asked Jack, "Aren't you afraid this is against the rules?" he said, "If someone has to break the rules to serve the people, let it be me." That's the kind of fire he had. While Taobao was growing fast, eBay made a fatal error. They moved their Chinese operations to the US. Instead of building a local team, they tried to control everything from America. This made Chinese users feel disconnected. Sellers were frustrated. Customer service failed. And Jack Ma, he kept his entire team in Hangzhou, working day and night. Alibaba became faster, better, and more Chinese than eBay could ever be. By 2006, the war was over. eBay, the giant, had lost China. Taobao had 80% of the market. eBay shut down its local site and became almost irrelevant in China. Jack Ma and his team had won. A small group of believers with no experience, no power, no outside help, had defeated a multi-billion-dollar giant. And the world started noticing. Let's pause here and reflect. Alibaba didn't win because it was better in tech. It won because it understood people. Jack Ma believed something powerful. Customers are number one. Employees are number two. Investors are number three. While others chased profit, he chased trust. While others looked global, he looked local. While others followed strategy, he followed heart. Let's start with one crazy idea Jack Ma once shared with his team. He stood in front of them and said, "We will build a company that lives for 102 years." The room went silent. People laughed. Some thought he was joking. But Jack Ma explained, Alibaba was started in 1999. If it lasts until 2101, that's 102 years. Across 3 different centuries. That's what he meant. He didn't want a fast company. He wanted a forever company. Not a company of profits, but a company of purpose. Most people only know the name Alibaba, but Jack Ma was building an empire, not just one company. Here's what he did. 1. Alibaba.com, B2B platform. Connects factories and businesses across the world. 2. Taobao, C2C platform. People selling to people, like eBay, but better for Chinese users. 3. Tmall, B2C platform. Brands selling directly to customers. High-quality premium platform. 4. Alipay, digital wallet and payment service. Fast, safe, and everywhere. 5. Cainiao, a logistics network to solve the delivery problem across China. 6. Alibaba Cloud, a cloud computing system, the brain behind the operations. Jack wasn't just building apps. He was building a full system where people could buy, pay, ship, and grow their business without leaving Alibaba's world. It was like Amazon plus PayPal plus Google Cloud plus FedEx, all in one. But still, Jack said, "We're not a tech company. We are a company for people." In the early 2000s, smartphones exploded in China. People started buying everything through their phones. And Alibaba? It was built for desktop users. Jack Ma and his team had to make a fast decision, change the entire platform to mobile, or die like many companies that failed to adapt. So they bet everything. They redesigned the apps. They made payments easier. They created mobile promotions. They trained sellers to use mobile tools. And it worked. People in small towns, farmers, students, and old people. Everyone could now use Alibaba in their pocket. This mobile shift helped Alibaba reach 800 million users inside China alone. Jack Ma was ready for the next step. He said, "We built Alibaba for China. Now we want the world to know us." So in 2014, Alibaba decided to go public. Not in China, not in Hong Kong, but in New York City, on the New York Stock Exchange. It was a bold move. Most Chinese companies stayed inside China. But Jack Ma believed, if you want to be global, you must play on the global stage. On the day of the IPO, initial public offering, the financial world was watching. Big screens in Times Square were showing Alibaba's logo. Reporters, investors, CEOs, everyone was waiting. And then, Alibaba raised $25 billion in one day. It became the biggest IPO in history. Bigger than Google, bigger than Facebook, bigger than Amazon. The company was now worth over $230 billion. And Jack Ma, the English teacher who had been rejected by KFC, was now one of the richest people in the world. After the IPO, Jack Ma gave a speech that made headlines across the world. He said, "Today is not the success of Alibaba. Today is the success of all the small businesses who believed in us." He thanked his team. He thanked the users. He even thanked the people who rejected him because they gave him strength. He didn't talk about money. He talked about mission. Let's break it down in simple terms. Alibaba's IPO was not just big because of the money. It was big because it showed that a Chinese company could win globally. It showed that helping small people could create a big impact. It gave hope to millions of people who thought they had no chance in business. Jack Ma became a symbol, not of wealth, but of what's possible when you never give up. After the IPO, Jack Ma became famous. He was invited to speak at World Economic Forums, meet world leaders, teach at Harvard and Stanford, sit with Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Barack Obama. But he always said, "I'm not a genius. I'm just a normal person who works harder than most." He wore no expensive watches. He used no private jet. He lived simply and spoke from the heart. His voice cracked when he talked about failure. His eyes lit up when he talked about young people. He said, "The next Jack Ma will come from a village, not from a big city, not from a rich family, but from a big dream." After the IPO, millions of people across China and the world began starting their own online shops through Taobao and Tmall. Small farmers were selling apples. Young girls were selling handmade bags. Old women were teaching classes through Alibaba Cloud. It became more than a business. It became a movement. Chapter 3. Storms at the Top. The best test of power, politics, and principles. Alibaba was no longer just a company. It had become a bank, Alipay, a shopping mall, Tmall, a search engine, a logistics system, a cloud service provider, a media influencer. In simple words, Alibaba was controlling more than just commerce. It was now a system. The Chinese government began to notice. They started thinking, wait, this company is getting too powerful, too big, too free. And in China, no one is allowed to be bigger than the system. In October 2020, Jack Ma gave a speech in Shanghai. He stood on stage in front of hundreds of people, business leaders, bankers, investors, and he said something bold. He criticized China's financial system. He said, "China's banks still operate like pawn shops. The future should not depend on collateral. It should depend on innovation. People gasped. He was calling out the very structure of the Chinese economy. He said regulations were outdated. He said Alibaba's fintech system was the future. He said change must come. That speech changed everything. Remember Alipay? It had now grown into a huge financial company called Ant Group, offering loans, insurance, payments, and investment tools. It was planning a new IPO in November 2020. This IPO was expected to raise $34.5 billion, even bigger than Alibaba's 2014 IPO. It was going to be the biggest financial launch in world history. Everyone was excited. Then suddenly, 2 days before the IPO, the Chinese government stopped it. Just like that. Billions were frozen. Investors were shocked. Jack Ma disappeared from the public eye for months. After the IPO was canceled, Jack Ma vanished. He didn't appear in public. He didn't post. He didn't speak. People started asking, "Where is Jack Ma?" Some thought he had been arrested. Some said he was silenced. Some said he was under house arrest. But the truth was, he was being warned. In China, if you become too bold, you pay the price. And Jack Ma had spoken too loud, too freely, too globally. After the Ant Group cancellation, the government started antitrust investigations against Alibaba. They accused Alibaba of monopolistic behavior, forcing sellers to use only their platform, unfair competition, controlling too much of the market. In April 2021, the Chinese government fined Alibaba $2.8 billion, the largest fine in China's tech history. It was a clear message. You are powerful, but you are not above the system. After the storm, Alibaba had to change. They started doing 3 major things. 1. Regulatory alignment. Alibaba worked closely with government officials to show compliance and cooperation. 2. Business decentralization. Alibaba started breaking itself into multiple parts to reduce risk. This included separate divisions for cloud, e-commerce, local services, logistics, digital media. 3. Jack Ma stepping back. Jack Ma slowly removed himself from leadership positions. He reduced public appearances. He began a new chapter, educating rural teachers, focusing on philanthropy, and staying quiet. Alibaba's stock began to fall. Investors were nervous. Many asked, "Is this the end of Alibaba?" But let's understand something clearly. Alibaba still had hundreds of millions of users. It still made tens of billions of dollars in revenue. It still had the biggest cloud platform in China. It still dominated online shopping and logistics. Yes, it was a storm. Yes, it was a warning. But no, Alibaba was not dead. It was being reshaped, not for growth, but for survival. While the world was talking about politics and power, Jack Ma was somewhere quiet, thinking deeply. He once said, "When you are small, you must be very focused and rely on your brain. When you are big, you must be humble and rely on your heart." He knew this was a time not to fight, but to listen, to adjust, to survive. He told his team, "This is winter. We must prepare." But winter never stays forever. Over the next few years, Jack Ma changed his focus. He started projects to help rural teachers and education in small villages. He launched programs to support small startups in agriculture. He traveled quietly to Europe, Japan, and other parts of Asia. He avoided interviews, speeches, and global headlines. He stepped out of the spotlight. He allowed Alibaba to evolve without him at the front. This was wisdom, not weakness. Let's look at what Alibaba looked like after the government crackdown. Alibaba Division Focus Area. Taobao and Tmall group online shopping platforms. Alibaba Cloud Computing, AI services. Cainiao Network Logistics, smart warehouses. Ant Group, Alipay, digital finance, payments. Local services group food delivery, travel, etc. Alibaba International Global Expansion. Lazada AliExpress. Digital media and entertainment video streaming, music, content. Each of these became a separate unit. This made Alibaba more stable, more transparent, and ready for the next era. Before completely stepping away, Jack Ma gave one last major message. Today is difficult. Tomorrow is more difficult. But the day after tomorrow is beautiful. Most people die tomorrow night. If you can hold on till the day after tomorrow, you'll win. This was not just about business. It was about life. After the pressure from regulators, Alibaba's board sat down and asked one question. How do we rebuild this company? Not to impress the world, but to serve it better. So they did something rare. They slowed down. They simplified. They listened. They no longer wanted to just be the biggest. They wanted to be the most helpful. This was the beginning of Alibaba's silent comeback. To reduce risk and allow innovation, Alibaba took one bold step. They split into 6 independent companies, each with its own CEO, board, and freedom to grow. 1. Taobao and Tmall Group. Focus online shopping in China. Power, over 800 million users. Goal, serve the local customer faster, cheaper, better. 2. Alibaba Cloud Intelligence Group. Focus, cloud computing, AI, data services. Power, the biggest cloud service in China. Goal, compete with Amazon Web Services, AWS. 3. Cainiao Smart Logistics. Focus, warehousing, delivery, logistics optimization. Power, delivers billions of packages a year. Goal, become the FedEx of the East. 4. Global Digital Commerce Group. Focus, international e-commerce. Brands AliExpress, Lazada, Trendyol, Daraz. Goal, compete with Amazon globally. 5. Ant Group. Focus, digital finance, Alipay, loans, insurance. Status, still powerful but under tighter regulation. Goal, serve safely and smartly under new rules. 6. Digital media and entertainment. Focus, Youku, video streaming, music, gaming. Goal, compete with TikTok, Tencent Video. Each unit now had freedom to fly, or fail fast and try again. Alibaba realized something important. We cannot win the world by acting like China. We must understand the world. So instead of pushing Chinese products to every country, Alibaba began investing in local platforms around the globe. Let's look at the international vision. AliExpress, fast fashion and gadgets for Europe, Middle East, South America. Built strong logistics hubs in Spain, Poland, and Dubai. 150+ million international users. Competing with Amazon and Shein. Lazada, Southeast Asia's Amazon. Serving Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore. Over 140 million active users. Local sellers, local warehouses. Daraz, e-commerce for Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal. Built for South Asian markets. Focus on trust, delivery, and mobile-first shopping. Trendyol, fast fashion in Turkey and Europe. Bought by Alibaba to understand fashion behavior in Europe. Jack Ma once said, "Globalization should not be one way. It must be about local empowerment." While most people look at shopping platforms, they forget something. Behind everything is Alibaba Cloud. Here's what you must know. It is the largest cloud company in China. It supports banks, hospitals, apps, logistics, traffic systems, smart cities. It provides tools for AI, big data, and real-time analysis. It helped China fight COVID-19 by powering health apps. It powers Lazada, Taobao, Alipay, and more. And the goal? To be Asia's answer to Amazon Web Services, AWS. It's not sexy like Taobao, but it's the brain and engine of the entire empire. Alibaba is not just fixing its past, it's building the future. Artificial intelligence, AI, developed their own large language models, used AI for personalized shopping, smart logistics, chatbots, built Tongyi Qianwen, Alibaba's answer to ChatGPT, green tech and sustainability, building carbon-neutral data centers, investing in green logistics, helping small businesses go digital with low energy cost, quantum computing, researching next-gen computing power, partnering with universities and labs. Vision: to solve problems 1,000 times faster than today. Alibaba is silently turning into a deep tech company. After the government crackdown, Alibaba's image needed healing. So they focused on 5 things. 1. Support small businesses again. Lower fees, more tools, training, promotions. 2. Return to user-first model. Customer service, local seller support, refund policies. 3. Be more transparent. Regular reports, open strategy updates. 4. Stay humble. No more world domination talk. Focus on service. 5. Empower youth and rural entrepreneurs. Education programs, rural e-commerce, mentorship. They started showing the human side of their empire again. Chapter 4. The Legacy of Alibaba. The company that was never about money. Jack Ma started Alibaba in 1999 with this mission: to make it easy to do business anywhere. But as the company grew, billions in revenue, millions of users, global expansion, something magical happened. It never lost its soul. From the first day till today, Alibaba stayed focused on empowering small businesses, creating opportunities for ordinary people, making technology serve the weak, not the powerful, spreading trust, education, and freedom through commerce. Most big companies forget where they came from. Alibaba never did, and that's why it became something much bigger than a company. It became a symbol. Most people think Jack Ma built a billion-dollar company, an online shopping empire, a massive fintech business, a cloud system, a competitor to Amazon. All of that is true. But the real truth? Jack Ma built a bridge between dreams and reality, villages and cities, mothers with no money and millions of buyers, fishermen and foreign buyers, small shops and global markets. Alibaba became the bridge where the little guy gets power, where you don't need to speak English, or live in a big city, or be rich, or be famous, to build something. That is what he built, and that is why Alibaba is immortal. It changed the idea of power. Before Alibaba, power was for banks, big companies, governments, people with English and suits. But Alibaba gave power to farmers, tailors, students, grandparents, villagers. Suddenly, anyone could start a shop, sell a product, ship worldwide. That changed the rules of the game. It brought millions into the digital economy. Alibaba didn't just make rich people richer. It created 100 million plus jobs, directly and indirectly. Millions of small sellers, delivery drivers, warehouse workers, content creators, villagers who now run successful online stores. This wasn't charity. It was inclusion through technology. It gave China global confidence. Alibaba showed China and the world that a Chinese company could compete with the West, set global standards, innovate faster than Silicon Valley, win with heart, not just tech. This changed the mindset of an entire generation. Young people in Asia no longer said, "I want to work at Google." They said, I want to build something like Alibaba. You've seen the products. Now let's understand the invisible values behind them. 1. Customer first. If customers are happy, money will come. Alibaba always placed the buyer first, with trust, refunds, and care. 2. Team second. We are nothing without our team. Employees were empowered, encouraged to think big, and respected. 3. Shareholders. Third. Investors can wait, people can't. Even after going public, Jack Ma told investors, don't expect short-term profits. We're here to serve. 4. Adapt fast or die. Alibaba changed platforms, moved to mobile, adapted to global markets faster than anyone else. 5. Stay humble. Even at the top, Jack Ma would say, I'm just a teacher. I don't understand tech. I understand people. This humility became Alibaba's greatest power. In one of his last global speeches before stepping away, Jack Ma said, I was never the smartest in my class. I was rejected by jobs. I was nobody. But I refused to give up. He looked at the audience and said, the future belongs not to the rich, not to the powerful, but to those who believe in themselves and start something. That message became the heartbeat of Alibaba. And today, somewhere in a small village, a girl is starting a business with no investors, no big team, only a phone, a product, a dream, and she's using Alibaba. Let's look at the next 10 to 20 years of Alibaba. 1. Digital villages, helping farmers in Africa, India, Southeast Asia sell globally, training rural entrepreneurs, smart supply chains in small towns. 2. AI commerce, personalized shopping powered by AI, sellers creating ads, images, and chatbots automatically, predicting customer needs before they even search. 3. Eco-friendly retail, green warehouses, plastic-free packaging, electric delivery fleets. 4. Global talent platforms, students in remote places offering services, a platform for digital freelancers, competing with LinkedIn, Fiverr, Upwork. Alibaba's future isn't about just money. It's about human progress. People love Alibaba not because of tech, but because they see themselves in the story. A rejected job applicant, a mother trying to start a side business, a student who failed exams, a teacher with a big idea, a person who was laughed at, someone who started late, someone who started with nothing. Alibaba tells them, you still matter, you can still win, start small, think big, move fast, never give up. That message is priceless. Let's finish with 7 unforgettable truths. 1. Start with what you have. Jack Ma had no money, no code, no English degree. He started with what he had, his mouth and a dream. 2. The power of belief is bigger than capital. He didn't wait for investors. He waited for people who believed. 3. Build for others, not just yourself. Alibaba always helped small sellers first, and that's why they stayed loyal. 4. Dare to challenge giants. He faced eBay, Amazon, Tencent, and even the Chinese government, and still stood tall. 5. Be like water. Jack Ma said, water is powerful because it's flexible. It can flow or it can crash. Be like water. That's how Alibaba survived. 6. Success is not about winning. It's about staying. Many companies win once and vanish. Alibaba has been winning and still standing but for 25 plus years. 7. Leave a legacy, not just a company. Alibaba won't be remembered for its website. It will be remembered because it gave people power. That's real success. Alibaba is not a fairy tale. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's the true story of how belief plus hard work plus heart can beat the system. It's the story of how a man who was rejected from KFC became the most powerful teacher the business world has ever seen. And this story, it's not over. Because every time someone opens a shop on Alibaba, every time a student in a village makes their first sale, every time a person dares to dream again, the story continues. If you want to learn powerful success stories and improve your English every week, make sure to subscribe right now.